Oh, what it do, my lovely baby boos? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Hidden Truth Tarot, and we're gonna get back at it for a long-awaited reading. You guys were in my comments saying we need it, and now it is here, the long-anticipated Wendy Ortiz reading. Amazing! Whoa! 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 Well, at least this will be an updated. We're gonna get in more details about her relationships, her sister, and this possible betrayal, some good news, bad news, and just overall stuff that could be coming up with her in her career. All right, if you guys enjoy celebrity readings, please don't forget to hit that like button, comment down some celebrities or people you want me to read for, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe if you enjoy tarot related content, pick a card reading, zodiac side channel messages, and etc, etc, etc. If you guys are looking to book a personal reading, everything you'll need will be in my description. But let's get right into this reading for Miss Wendy Ortiz. Alright, so the first question we are going to be tapping into, we're going to be looking into the energy between her and Noel, this current person that's around her. You guys know how I like to read on energies. We'll pull a card for her, pull a card for him, see where they're meeting in the middle, and we'll build up on that. So let's tap into this first question and see how they're feeling about each other right now. What's going on between this energy between her and Noel? Alrighty, so thank you, spirit guides, angels, and ancestors for your wisdom, your guidance, your energy, and your assistance. Can you please let me tap in from the most highest source of love and light and the most honest truth to be able to give the collective and myself the messages that we need to hear in regards of Wendy Ortiz and this energy between her and Noel? What is the energy, spirit? What is the authentic? What is the truth? Alrighty, let's start with Wendy. She'll be on the left, Noel will be on the right. Let's get a card for Wendy. Okay, Ten of Wands. We also have the Ace of Swords in reverse to clarify. Her energy came out spitting. Let's get a card for Noel. We have the Six of Cups in reversed, okay? Another card for him. Okay, got it. And where are they meeting in the middle, spirit? The Four of Pentacles. Clarify with this Four of Pentacles. Okay, so, very interesting. I feel like they both are kind of in this position of like, this is not serious at all, okay? Wendy Ortiz is coming in sitting in the position of the Ten of Wands reverse with the Ace of Swords, okay? So she's not looking at Noel as something that she's going to grow with. This is not the energy she's thinking that she is going to have a long-term relationship. This is something that she's kind of just like in the moment with. I don't think she has a clear intention here with the Ace of Swords. Now that can be kind of confusing because I do feel like she sits in this energy of showing interest. I don't think she thinks that he's ugly or thinks that he's a bad guy. But there's also an energy here saying that, you know, I know that this is not going to be something that's in my energy long term. Alright, so you guys may see them spending time with each other. You may see them go out on dates. You may see her display forms of affection. But it just doesn't feel like she's like completely present in their connection, in their relationship. I almost feel like it's like she shows up when she wants to show up, and then other days it's like she shuts herself down. You know, to be completely honest, I feel like Wendy may not be the most open to love. It feels like she's kind of what I'm hearing spirit say is like apathic, like lacks empathy. And I don't say that she lacks empathy as in she's not emotional and she can't feel, but it just feels like when it comes to her love life, she's not open for like real energy. I feel like Wendy Ortiz has like been hurt, so I don't know if she experienced a big heartbreak, or she just experienced a form of energy where she's you know, has created a belief over it, you know what I mean? It's like all men are the same, or all energy is the same. It's like she's cultivated this energy where she believes that all energy is the same, and she's just gonna hold on to that until someone can prove to her otherwise. Alright, I want to let you know that, you know, I do feel she's not sharing all of this as well here with the Ace of Swords in reverse, but she feels like, you know, Noel doesn't share everything. because the energy where it feels like it's like we kind of have an understanding where we stand with each other, especially when they're streaming together and people are seeing them together. She already knows that people are going to come up with storylines and misconceptions and create fabrications over the energy, and she was ready for that because, like I said, at the end of the day, I don't think that it's not that she's not interested, it's not that she doesn't find him to be attractive, it's just that she knows that it's not going to be a long-term energy. And you got to keep in mind, I feel like Noel's in the same energy here when it comes to him, because he's showing up as a 6 of Cups in reverse with this 9 of Cups. I feel like his desires and his energy is kind of elsewhere as well. I don't feel like he's completely present here with Wendy either. Maybe there's someone from his past or something that he got going on in his energy presently that it still kind of has his attention. But you got to keep in mind, it's not that he doesn't like Wendy, it's not that he doesn't find her attractive, but this is feeling more of like we're connecting for surface level reasons, not really on a deeper, not really on I'm trying to build, not really on this is going to be a relationship. I feel like they both are kind of aware of that. The 4 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles in reverse is like where they're meeting in the middle. It's like this could just be for work, right? Like we can make money off of this. I think you're a stable guy, I think you're a cool person, let's hang out. There is an energy of being romantic, little flirty, little kissy, but it doesn't give serious. 7 of Pentacles in reverse, right? I'm not really looking to invest in this long term. Can we get a clarification for 10 of Wands and the Ace of Swords for Wendy? The 8 of Wands. So I'm telling you guys, when it comes to this connection, it's not going to last. And Wendy Ortiz already knows this. She could already be, her energy feels like it's already focusing outward. Like she's focused on other things. All right. The 8 of Wands is also saying that she's moving quickly. Like she's not thinking about settling down anytime soon. And especially with this energy. Okay, this is just something that's fun, someone who is nice, someone that she thought was a cool guy, good looking, but there really is no real movement happening between the two of them. Okay, I feel like there actually could be some, I do feel like they hang out with each other, but it feels like this is more of like collaboration, like we're choosing to collaborate. And also too, it's almost like she's aware of like the public, of like them, like you guys collective, of you enjoying them together, right? If it brings in more audience, if it brings in more viewership, I feel like she's very smart in that aspect as well. Clarification with his 6 of Cups and the 9 of Cups. The Fool card. You see how unserious this is? The Fool card, right? I can take a little bit of risk in an adventure and be in the moment, but I know I ain't gonna be here for the long run, or I don't have to be here for a long time, right? The Fool card is I'm in the moment. And I also mentioned too, it does feel like he has other energies around him that is taking his attention in this present moment. That's why I'm saying like he don't really feel too serious about Wendy Ortiz. Her energy feels very lighthearted. I feel like honestly, collective, remember this is all just alleged and for entertainment purposes, that how they are represented when you see them on live is completely different of how they are represented each other personally. It's like their relationship is not what it is. I feel like there could have been a chance of getting to know, dating, flirtation, but that's about it. Like there's not an energy of I'm taking you serious, and vice versa. It's like they are on the same boat. Clarification with the 4 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. The World card. I'm telling you all, you're going to be seeing this wraps up real soon. Completion real soon. And it's not in a negative way. I'm not saying they're going to end on negative terms, but this is an energy where it's like you're going to see eventually her transition. Whether you see her with other people, whether his energy just dies out, whether the energy becomes less popular, whether they both just lose interest and go their separate ways. I don't see their energy sticking, and they know that. It feels like they have completed something together, and that could just be making money together, collaborating. It feels like to me like commonly they're in sync with the energy of like we figured out, or we experience whatever we needed to experience. Okay, let's get some more clarification. I'm gonna pull from this set. I'm telling you, Wendy Ortiz just feels unavailable, but I also feel like it's saying, because I'm hearing spirit say like an empty shell, like she's either really just not available, or she's the kind of energy that she seeks is like she's not finding it. I know she's a mother and she has a kid, and I think that's one thing as well, but I feel like to be completely honest, I feel like with the people she connects with, she doesn't feel like she even really likes them. And that's kind of interesting. That's why I'm getting like this avoidant energy off of her. Like I feel like she wants to be loved and have love, but she could have experienced some type of heartbreak or something that makes her perceive love in a very distorted light. And as she's looking at it in the distorted energy, she's trying to connect with these people, or at least trying to find love. I'm hearing that song from Rihanna. We found love in a hopeless place. It's like she's trying to find love in a hopeless place, and it's just not connecting the dots. And I think this is why she's like kind of running into the same people. It's nothing against these men. It's not like they're necessarily bad, but they're not what she's looking for. Clarification for Wendy's energy. Yeah, see, shadow side, moon, it says the dark night. So this is what I mean about this energy of like, you guys behind the scenes, their energy seems completely different than what it is on motherfucking Twitch, okay? We do have action in reversed here. So it says courage, Jupiter, energy, and beginnings. Like, this is going to be very temporary. I don't really see them roaming or being together real soon. It feels like she's going to end up going into a different direction here. Like there's something about that energy here, and it's no shade to him, but it feels like to me she's just like not available. Mercury energy, messages, travel, and communication. Okay, so their communication might already be a little bit rocky. There's an energy of her traveling. We see that, or she's going to be finding herself going into different spaces, different places real soon. You're going to be seeing Wendy doing bigger and better things. And she feels guilty because we also have sabotage. And this brings back to my avoidant point about like, it's nothing against these men. I just feel like she has a distorted perception when it comes to love. And this is it's like she feels like she's not getting what she's looking for. And these people could be fine. They're perfectly fine. I just feel like she has her guard up. But you got to keep in mind, when it comes to Noel's energy, there is an understanding of like, he's not in the same space either. It feels like he wasn't really he's not looking for commitment either. I don't know how they met, really. I don't know how they came across paths, but like I said, it's like there's appreciation of enjoying the experience. Let's get a clarification for Noel. Open and so it's in reverse. It says open and receive. So he, like I said, he was here for the present moment. I don't think he was looking to invest either, but I think there's also an avoidant energy going on his end, or he's acknowledging her avoidance. Take it how it resonates, allegedly, right? His energy wasn't forward as open either. Okay, we also have facade. It says beliefs and mass. So brings me back to the point, collective. What you guys see on the internet, you have to distinguish the two, because there is a difference, right? When you see people kikiing and laughing and acting all flirty romantic, remember, this is for viewership. This is content. And that's what I keep on hearing. Like, their relationship is content. Collaboration. And we have guarded and vulnerability. And he's coming in a space of being guarded himself. Like I said, I do feel like he's kind of distracted by his own things. Meanwhile, she's already coming in a very avoidant place. So they're kind of on the same page, not looking for more, not looking for serious. Okay. One more card for reunion and soul ties. That's what I'm saying. Like, I really do feel like he's connected to somebody else, or he has someone in his energy that he is like connected to still. Could be an ex of his. There's someone in his energy too that he still has eyes for as well. And also too, I feel like there could be parts where he feels like maybe she's not over somebody, because like I said, I do feel like an energy with Wendy where there is something here where she received, like, she got hurt, and that is also the reason why she's so guarded, or at least so pushing back in love. Where are they? Let's get a clarification on the middle energy. Closed. They're both closed. Oh man, I don't know how many times we're gonna hear that these two are closed off to each other. Like, they're both closed off. Nothing, no hate to either or. I feel like they both respect or like or appreciate, or you know, there could be genuine great and like emotional intention, but it does feel like they're both guarded when it comes to actually having a serious relationship or having serious romantic feelings. It says freedom, leap, opportunity. Yeah, this was an opportunity. That's what I'm getting. Like, this is content. Sun, strength, and it also says empowerment. All right, so with that sun card, that strength card, that empowerment, this is the energy in which if like I feel like genuinely they feel good about each other. Like, I don't think Wendy Ortiz has anything against Noel. I don't think Noel has anything against Wendy Ortiz. I just feel like they're both sitting in the same space of like, it's almost like they knew what this was. It's like, I knew what I signed up for. There's no illusions between the two of them, and it's in reverse with the Neptune energy. Okay, so there's no confusion. They're both kind of pretty much on the same page. Yeah, not looking for an offer. Venus is in reverse. One more card, Spirit. Yeah, fire energy. It's Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, but this is the Ace of Wands. So the fire energy is like nothing was igniting, nothing was gonna grow. Like, there could have been very light sparks of stuff. That's what I'm hearing Spirit say. Sparks fly, mind of Conqueror. But anywho, it's like little sparks, but not a real ignition. No remix to this kitchen, high in fashion. Like, it's none of that. Let's get an advice card over this energy and see where it stands. Let's pull from this deck. We're gonna pull from this deck, and we're gonna get into the next question. But seriously, guys, when it comes to this, you guys may see them collaborate. I feel like they are friends at a core base. I do feel like they have a good connection or a relationship. And when I say relationship, it feels like more platonic than romantic. I do feel like there could have been a little flirtation here and there, or they try to go out on a date or experience to see where it could go. But I do really get this energy of avoidance between the two of them, and I don't really think that you'll see them being together much longer, coming soon, because it feels like you're going to be introduced to someone else, or maybe someone else could come back in, guys, because I like in the last reading I did get an energy of DDG trying to come back in and see if Wendy would love to collaborate. So you might, and if she does agree with that, you could see them traveling back and doing what they were doing like they did with Japan and stuff, right? That will bring a different new energy or a familiar energy back. There's something about that, right? Something's going to be completing. There's no smoke, there's no ill intention, there's no negative feelings, but I really do feel like this is nothing serious. Nothing serious. Alright, so we have Olander as the advice card for the both of them. Let's read Olander. Oopsie. We're gonna read from this deck. Yikes. Yikes. Okay, so Olander. Change, reconnection, reward, and nostalgia is the themes that they'll be working on. So things are going to be changing, okay? Alright. There's rewards because I do see that like something's completing, as in like stepping into a new stage. So there will be a reward for either one or the both of them, it seems. Or it seems like the connection has run its course to bring reward. Because like I said, I don't really get like a negative energy between the two of them. Okay, so the card says, you guys can't see, but it says thinking things through, and then it also says psychic victory. Wow, that's interesting. Make sure I'm looking at that right. So maybe there could be something that could come true here, as whatever I'm sitting here predicting between the two of them. Or something here is being already predicted between the two of them. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, wow, psychic victory. That's what it says. Wow, period. So that's another thing too. Like intuitively, like there might be an energy where she gets called up to end this, and it's gonna be the right decision, or she's gonna get called to go into a different direction. It's gonna be the right decision. It feels like to me there's already a victory here. Like she got what she was needed or wanted, or what was meant for the connection. You know what I mean? So that's what Spirit's gonna be focusing on. So the themes that she's gonna be focusing on is thinking things through, right? So this is exactly where they're at. Right, they might come to a conclusion that, hey, you know, we are really good friends or content creation buddies or whatever the case may be, but maybe this isn't going the way we're wanting to go. So they're both thinking things through, and there's something about a psychic victory. Someone's going to be listening to their intuition somewhere. Let's read from the book though and see what it says. Okay, so the card says, in Louisiana, servants thought that they could win favor by sickening her employees with a cake of Olander and then nursing them back to health. Unfortunately, that accidentally murdered them instead. Learn from her story and think your plans through fully before nursing in them. You may think you can come on top by acting like the hero in a situation that you sabotage, but stop for a minute and question whether you should. Things can go wrong in ways you may have never expected. So you gotta keep in mind, it's funny how we did see sabotage, so you gotta keep in mind, I do feel like there have been parts of her that makes her feel like she needs to be more available, or like maybe she's not making the right decision. But like I said, I just feel like here that someone's going to be making an intuitive call that's going to be beneficial for the both of them. Like they're going to be realizing, oh yeah, that's why I chose this, or oh yeah, that's why I was feeling this, because they could be both on the same page. But I do want to say, even though they're both unavailable, there's still just this energy of like, you remember, you have choice. All right, so you don't really got to do anything you don't want to do. So as she's coming into the realizations here with Noel, and he's coming into the realizations with her, even if he's not available and is still trying to pursue a connection, it feels like to me she's going to be listening to her intuition. Okay, all right, so I do feel like I said, I really do feel a chapter will be closing between the two of them. But I feel like it's going to be beneficial for, like I said, guys, I mentioned this in my other reading too, that she is very divinely protected. And this is what I mean about that psychic victory. It's like her spiritual team is not going to let anything happen to her. So she's very strongly protected. But this is the energy between the two of them I'm getting. So let's get into the next question. The next question, we're going to get into the energy between the betrayal that I'm predicting between her and her sister, because I really do get like animosity or at least jealousy vibes that one is a lot further than the other. And you got to keep in mind, they're twins, they're equally blessed, they're equally in the same skin. So there is an energy of feeling like, you know, my light's going to be dimmed while yours is just expanding. I really do feel that between the two girls here. So let's tap into the energy and let's see what Spirit has for this possible betrayal. What is this betrayal going to look like, Spirit, between the two of them? If you guys are enjoying the video, make sure you guys are liking. Don't forget to comment something if you feel like it, and subscribe. Alright, let's see. Sorry, I was drinking some Pepsi. I mean, Pepsi, Diet Coke. LOL, they are so different. It's funny how I said Pepsi and I know I'm actually drinking Diet Coke, but aren't they competitors? Pepsi and Diet Coke? Secret competition is going to be the betrayal. That's what I feel is. What is going to be this betrayal, Spirit? What is going to be this betrayal? Alright, we have the Seven of Swords as the first card, guys. I want to let you know, I do feel like Wendy and Eve, and that's her sister, I believe that's her sister's name, they have a lot of love for each other, but I do feel like there's something here with like holding resentment over something, but it's masked as like love, right? So at the end of the day, you don't want to hold any guilt or hold any grudges with family, especially if you feel like they've been there for you, especially in a survival kind of energy. But there's also resentment that can be built up because you can start somewhere together and then one shines a lot brighter, or you can be in the same place together but one ends up being stronger. That's what I'm hearing Spirit say here with the Seven of Swords. It's like they are the same energy, but even growing up, whether they've dealt with trauma, whether they had a hard childhood, whether they were in school, it's like being around each other triggers this energy of feeling like I need to prove myself. That's that survival energy, and it's coming for the sake of comparison. All right, so the Seven of Swords is not the best card to start off with because it's saying we're already walking on an energy of them, you know, the energy not being what either or thinks. You know, I do feel like Wendy could be a little bit naive to how her sister feels and vice versa. Okay, this is why this betrayal is going to be such a hit, because they're both not looking for it, even though they are both sitting in this energy. I think it's more for her sister than Wendy, because I don't really see Wendy holding grudges, but I do see that she's aware of where her sister could be mad or triggered or offended by her energy. Nine of Swords. All right, there's stuff that's already bubbling behind the surface between the two of them. I just want to say that because it feels like the Nine of Swords is the stuff that keeps you up at night, right? The stuff that like you like during the day you have an argument and then you go to bed that night and you like start to remember all the comebacks, or you start to remember all the negativity. It's like there's someone here that sits in the past too much, maybe to their own shortcomings or just failures or disappointments. And it's like instead of like looking at that and seeing like, why am I here, why am I thinking, why am I reflecting in this energy, it's like they compare it to the other energy, the other person, which is what? Her sister, the Sun card. I want to let you know it's going to be secret, it's going to be competition. That's going to be the betrayal. Because the Nine of Swords is saying that someone's going to secretly slip up because they're going to be so overly consumed in an energy that they're triggered in that they're going to show their ass, right? Whether you see them arguing and then someone says something they actually claim they didn't mean. Or you see someone get something that the other one didn't get, and all of a sudden now they're online projecting of, well, I should have had this and I do that and da 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 da. It's just the energy of not being able to be happy for the other person. I feel like this is her sister, allegedly, you guys. Because I really do feel like Wendy sits in this energy of not really sitting in competition with her sister. She seems pretty supportive and is saying we can do this together. If I can do it, you can do it. But also it gets this energy of like, if I can get here, you can get here too. So I'm not going to do it for you. Right? And I think and her sister sits here and it's like, what do you mean? I don't know. It's like a weird energy. I know that they all started off together, but for example, right? Like, if they ever had a YouTube, they could have started a YouTube together, and then all of a sudden Wendy becomes the fave, and Eve is like, wait a minute, I don't understand where you became the favorite when we started this together. But it happens because something was done differently that the other person wasn't consistently doing, right? Or maybe the shine or the energy is just more magnetic and attractable, right? It's like something like that. It's like that. This is where the jealousy is coming from. This is where the envy is being built, because the Emperor is saying that the competition is gonna start to trigger their own stability of where they're at. They're going to be constantly comparing. And when I say they are, I'm talking about Eve's energy, guys, collective. Wendy makes more money than her. Wendy got more popularity than her. Wendy has capability of gaining more. And she's looking at all that. And even though she wants to be grateful, even though she is supportive, even though she wants to be on her sister's side, she is envious of it. And I feel like there are things where she does acknowledge it, but she excuses it or justifies it as in like, well, you guys don't know like this and you don't know that. But you got to keep in mind, they start at the same spot. So whatever Wendy has right now, Eve could have had it. But you got to keep in mind, Wendy just did something different. So instead of being envious of that, how can Eve do things different? It feels like as well too, what is also going to be a betrayal here is stability. You are jealous of me, but then you want to rely on me. You're jealous of me, but then I'm the one you're coming for opportunities. You're jealous of me, but then you come crying to me when you're not getting the viewerships or the money that you're expecting because of whatever, right? They live a completely different life. And this betrayal, this betrayal is going to come from greed of unfulfillment. That's built off of the comparison of what the other twin has. And you got to keep in mind, I'm not saying Wendy's perfect, because I do feel like there are things that Wendy can be jealous of too. For example, Eve might have more solid energy when it comes to her love life, and right now her love life is blooming, and Wendy could be jealous of that because why can she connect and I'm just having a hard time, you know what I mean? Like, they're both sitting in the same skin, but it's just different faces, as in Eve's gonna bring herself down because her energy is growing, while Wendy's is being a sister, right? At the end of the day, sisters get jealous of each other. They're gonna fight, but there's no way that you should be this jealous of your sister, having all of this hidden animosity, trying to hide it like it's not an issue, and then when it gets exposed, that's when you acknowledge it. Because I do feel like people see it, but it's not being acknowledged by them, so it's like, okay, so let's not bring it up, it's none of our business, right? The Star card, and remember, this is all about shine bright like a diamond, and it doesn't feel equal. But remember, as Eve is low-key jealous of the stability and growth and abundance that Wendy has cultivated, she's not realizing that, one, she has been getting help, she has been supported, and she has the energy to cultivate the same thing, which is crazy. The Strength card, right? So this is what I mean, her not being controlled and disciplined, and seeing how it's actually fair where they're sitting at. She's going to let her emotions override her. 10 of Pentacles, as we saw the 10 of Cups. 10-10. And listen, guys, you got to keep in mind, I don't know if this is going to be something you see publicly. You may see little shots, little things on the internet, Page of Cups, because like I said, it does feel like someone's going to let their energy slip through, or they're going to argue, or they'll do a little a little slip up where they say something sly on their Twitch, whether that's together or by themselves. But this betrayal judgment, this judgment is probably going to happen behind the scenes. The Six of Wands. You know why? Because I want to let you know that they've also built, some type of comfortability with them being together. So even if they don't have the perfect connection, everybody knows the situation as Wendy and Eve. Even if they favorable Wendy more, even if they pour into energy and Wendy's cup more, they're still known as a duo, right? So imagine how weird that would look. She's not, you know what I mean? There's something about that. Like, even if this betrayal happens, I do see Wendy still showing loyalty to her sister, as in, like, even though you stabbed me in the back, I'm not gonna let the public turn this into something it doesn't have to be. And this is what I mean about being the bigger person, and also too how they sit in different energies. You see how, like, she's sitting in a more higher state of consciousness and thinking as she's making the decisions, or she's going to when this all gets revealed, guys. This is all allegedly, remember that. But also at the same time, it's like, it feels like Eve won't realize how her energy is gonna take effect. King of Wands reverse, because it's gonna make her seem weak and controlling. And also too, it also will get Wendy to look at her differently too. I feel like there always will be sisters, there will always be a connection here, but at the end of the day, like, it will definitely confirm an intuitive thought that she's already been picking up. You don't want to believe that the people closest to you have the biggest animosity towards you. You don't want to believe that, right? Because that's family. Wheel of Fortune. But she is going to come to that realization here. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Bad luck. Delays. And things will change. We might not necessarily see them, though. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. But, she's going to stop giving energy to this connection. The Devil card. And do you see how someone shadows their own insecurities, their own jealousy? It's gonna end up catching up with them. It could ruin a relationship. And when I say ruin, I mean, like, things won't be the same. the Six of Cups in reverse. But remember, this is the thing here, and why I say that, I don't know, it feels like Wendy's energy feels mature, because this is stuff that's been happening since they were kids, guys. Alright. So this is more, yeah, see, memory, as I split the deck. This is more of an energy of, like, healing, moving on, and growing from. Meanwhile, there's one twin here that's trying to move on, heal, grow, and this is why she's been so blessed with all these amazing things, guys. You got to keep in mind, you have to be a great soul to get great things back, and I think people don't really give Wendy her credit of, like, you know, she's a good person at heart, and this is why all of these blessings have found her. But also at the same time, you're dealing with someone who feels like they should have the blessings, hasn't done half the work, sits in secret comparison competition because their own lack of showing up and insecurities, that, you know what I mean, it's like they're in the two different spaces. I think they're always going to love each other, but I do feel like it will ruin a relationship. Accident, luck, danger, caution, injury. All right, and it's gonna hurt. Like I said, you never expect it coming from the people that's closest to you. Daydream, because you got to keep in mind, even if the energy is being felt, it's not being spoken upon. It's not like they're in each other's face being like, haha, like, I'm jealous of you, haha. Like, no, this is all secretive. Very, and we saw that with the Seven of Swords being the first card. And this is over profession. Like I said, what they do for work, Twitch, YouTube, content creating. Right. And what you were able to manifest and I wasn't. Savings, and I'm telling you, there's something about money here too as well, like, you know what I mean, like Wendy does hold a lot of a weight abundant wise, and she's very supportive and helpful, but also at the same, that's why I'm saying, how are you going to bite the hand that feeds you? And when I say feeds you, it's like the hand that supports you. How are you going to be jealous of the hand that's helping you? You know what I mean? The loss, and it's going to be a loss. It will be a loss. Will be a loss. Good news. Okay, but this is what I mean about, like, the good news is that even though this will be a betrayal, one, I don't think we're gonna see it. Two, it feels like to me that, like, it feels like things are just gonna, she's gonna be blessed in different ways. That's why, yeah, gift and trap. All right, so I'm gonna say is that, like, you may see their connection or their sister relationship change in some type of contact, like, for sure, because there's already something brewing between the two of them. But there's something about the energy. I feel like you're always going to see them as a duo, because there's something about public image here that, like I said, family's family. But like, remember, with the memory cards, I split the deck earlier and we saw that card. Like, this has been happening since childhood. Internal love, right? So they're always going to be twins, even if there's jealousy. I mean, this is going to definitely reveal truth, but I feel like one's more mature than the other, and the other's gonna grow to realize where they're standing, because it's like a lot of this envy, jealousy is just, like, not needed. Because remember, they both came and they started together, so all the things that Wendy has, Eve could have had too if she decided to use her tools differently, but they had the same tools. That's what Spirit is saying. All right, let's get an advice card for these two and see what Spirit has about this betrayal. And then we'll tap into her career and Wendy's future. Tap into that, because I really do see more opportunities coming in for her. She's going to be blessed in a lot of that energy. Spirit's almost like showing me I show speed. Like, you know how he's just in a lot of stuff and you're seeing his face everywhere? It feels like that's where her energy is about to be. Like, just a lot of places you're going to start seeing her pop up. Nothing major, right? But just in little ways. Okay, so we have Jasmine as the advice card between the two of them. So let's read Jasmine. Where is the book? I don't know. Where is the book? I don't know. Didn't put it back, y'all, so I have to find it. Oh, I found it. See, it was hiding. You see how that shit was hiding? Because this is hiding too. But it's going to be exposed. Everything done in the dark will make its way to the light always. I don't know why people don't realize that. But you live and you learn. Alright, so what is going to be the advice for these two? We have Jasmine. Okay. Alright, so Spirit is saying there's new beginning, fresh starts, and times of growth. So remember, there will be changes between the two of them, but I like I said, this portrayal is just going to expose a lot of the issues that they already knew that were there, right? But also this truth can bring a lot of growth between the two of them. I definitely feel like things will change, but at the end of the day, they're still sisters. That's what I'm getting here from Spirit. All right, so wow. So Jasmine says, avoiding doubts, trusting one's judgment. Dude, I don't know how many times I have to say this, guys, that you know, not only like, you know, I feel both of them are very intuitive, right? So trusting one's judgment is like very much like pick up what you see here. And I think that's also advice for you, collective. Like, you guys will see little pieces. Trust your judgment here. All right. I feel like, you know, this is not going to be too much of a shock. All right. It feels like Wendy here is pretty intuitive. That's what I'm saying here about even with no situation, her slowing down and trusting her judgment, it's going to save her. When this gets exposed, it feels like her intuition is going to be already confirmed to something she already knew. This is what I'm saying. Like, she's going to be able to handle this pretty maturely because of she's already aware. You know what I mean? So that's just very interesting. And trust me, it feels like she's going to be trusting her judgment moving forward, right? Okay, let's read from the book. Goodness gracious, gotta find it. And also too, I don't know, I'm hearing this, like, also too, this portrayal could lead them to be more independent. Like, it could leave her to kind of push back with the support, kind of let Eve doing her own thing. And that could be her karma, as in like that might like work in her benefit or not. It may not. Alright, so Jasmine, it says, you've taken some good initial steps in your journey, but you're starting to flounder. Perhaps you feel as though you could have set out in a different direction, or others are calling you foolish for doing things the wrong way. You see how the embarrassment is going to be her own karma here? Because she's blaming everybody, Eve, allegedly, for the lack of growth of where she's at in her career, where they're at. But remember, Spirit keeps on saying they were handed the same tools. So nothing to be jealous of here when she could have did it her way, just differently. It says, but you chose the path for a reason. Jasmine's always grown exactly where it's meant to, and so do you. You know exactly where you're going and why. Don't let doubts or scorn of others make you question yourself. So this is what I mean about this energy of like, I'm sure that Wendy is already picking up the weird energy from her sister, because guys, I always going to say energy doesn't lie. No matter how much you want to mask it and try to pretend, like, if the energy is there, you're gonna feel it. And I do feel like that's why it's like this is gonna be a fucking reality check for her, not necessarily in a bad way, but to confirm what she's already kind of been picking up on her sister. Like I said, the portrayal is going to be the jealousy, the comparison, and her kind of exposing that, really showing her hand here. Okay. And like I said, collective, I don't know if necessarily if we are going to see this this falling out between the two of them. Because like I said, remember, they built their career as a duo, and I do feel like her sister will honor that. But there is an energy like things could change behind the scenes, right? Okay, so let's see here. Let's get into the next energy here. We're going to tap in to see what is going on with her career and that energy. All right, Spirit, what's going on? What is Wendy's career looking like? The Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay. And the Eight of Cups in reverse. And we also, okay guys, like I said, she's getting rid of the snakes in her grass right now. So like I said, there's a point where she's like not gonna feel bad of getting rid of the people that she needs to get rid of, or at least set boundaries with it. You gotta keep in mind, it feels like to me, when it comes to her career, she doesn't fuck with anybody in her community, and that's what it feels like. And she has a hard time finding genuine people to collaborate, genuine connections, genuine things to find herself in. And it feels like to me, she finds herself in self-doubt. Like, how am I gonna be able to move forward if I'm constantly running into the same energy and the same spaces? You know, Spirit is helping her through this though, because it does feel like her judgment is on par, right? If something's not working, she needs to adjust it. You know, listen to her intuition. And right now there's something going on in her career right now where she's intuitively correct, but she doesn't have the proof of it. So it's having her feel like she has to reroute, or going through a different direction, or going in, or plan things differently, when in reality she's kind of spot on. Okay. Yeah, Three of Swords. And listen, we've already talked about it, but sometimes setting boundaries with people that you think are on your team, even if it's family, friends, people that you grew up with, people that you're comfortable with, sometimes that helps you catapult you to where you want to be. If it's a career-wise that Wendy Ortiz wants to find herself in bigger places, and she's starting to realize that her people and things are holding her back, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, this coming soon, when it comes to her energy, you're gonna start to see her either be more independent or start to be around other people. There's no shame or harm to the people she got around her, but there's no growth there. And also too, there's an energy of her feeling she's holding weight there, whether it's like, I'm making sure that, you know, when you're around me, the views go up, or the content is stable, It's like people are kind of using her instead of like, they're benefiting off of her, and she feels like she's not getting anything back, and she doesn't ask for anything back. That's what I'm getting here. Okay, but I do see something changing here. King of Pentacles, I do see money here. I do feel she will be cultivating it. I don't feel like there is going to be a loss in that aspect. The Six of Cups, I do see her being offered opportunities and partnerships if she wants it. There's something going on with makeup here that I feel like she could be doing soon. All right, that might be really big for her. Yeah, Seven of Swords in reverse. But also too, it's like getting clear, because it feels like she's trying to go in a certain direction, and she's trying to making sure she's making the right steps, and she's not misstepping or misinterpreting or misjudging people. So she's being very cautious, especially in her career. Yeah, Page of Pentacles. All right. So I do feel like you guys are going to see her start to collaborate with a lot more different types of people. It feels like like I said, she doesn't really fuck with anybody in her community, especially the Twitch community, but she is trying to like expand her brand. That's what I'm hearing Spirit say. So with the Page of Pentacles, it's like she is going to step into good news. I feel like you're going to see her start to do different things. If there's something with makeup, I feel like she's going to be offered soon. Like maybe a popular brand will ask her to do a commercial, or take pictures with a certain product or something like that. I also feel as well, like when it comes to her own platform, her own audience, it's gonna stay strong. I think it's just where her confusion is like, what am I gonna do next? Like, where am I going? Spirit says she doesn't really need to worry about. She's gonna find it out as she goes. But she's getting rid of things that don't serve her already. Page of Swords, like I said, she's kind of in this energy of thinking of re-collaborating with certain people. That's what I'm saying. DDG keeps on popping up. Like there is an energy where it's like, should I do that? Would that be beneficial for me, or should I close the door completely? There is a lesson where Spirit is saying, or at least trying to teach her, when it comes to all energies, when it comes to money, love, and just in general, that if it bit your hand before, it's probably gonna bite your hand again. Okay, and sometimes that's a tough lesson, when it's like, we want things to change, and things can change. But I think that's a really big lesson of taking the glasses off, of realizing that like everybody that wants to be around you, everybody that claims to be around you or claims to be for you, especially if they're supportive and they already showed their hand or showed themselves, sometimes it's just like, accepting the energy for what it is. Yeah, the King of Wands in reversed. Okay. I don't know. She could be taking a break as well. And when it comes to her, just in general, because it feels like to me that it's like she's kind of getting burnt out. And when I'm saying burnt out, it's like she just doesn't know what to do creative wise. It's like she doesn't want to come off boring or feeling like she's not really showing up. But also at the same time, she is wondering what's her next move's going to be. I see travel in her energy too, though. So it feels like she will be going into different places. There are opportunities coming for. Sorry, I had to change my SIM card because it got full because I'm yapping. But like I was saying before I got cut off, I do see her kind of staying kind of in the same lane where she is already in her career wise. Nothing really opening up too big right now. I do feel like there is an opportunity of something with makeup coming in her energy where she could be exposed to something greater. But it does feel like she's kind of confused of where she's going to go next, especially content wise. She doesn't really know what her audience is looking for, where she's even passionate at. So guys, I really do feel like Wendy Ortiz, she is going to be abundant. I don't see her money lacking or she's losing money, but I do feel like when it comes to her creative steps, that's where the confusion is coming from. That is where the lack is coming from. All right, it's almost like she doesn't trust everything that's coming to her, and as she's removing the snakes in her grass, the things that are slowing her down, confirmation verb, she's going to learn to trust herself a lot more here. All right, I want to pull from this deck real quick. It's more clarification. All right, we have cleanse. All right, remember, so she's doing a real big cleanse right now. Okay, and I think it's of things that are making her second guess herself, making her doubt herself. And I don't really feel like these are like, I feel like these are people closest to her, like the things that she collaborates with, the people that she has around her, the people that she's choosing to give energy to and help and support, and vice versa, let in her energy. She's thinking about that. Remember, I do see some snakes in her grass, including, we already acknowledged that one of them is her sister allegedly, but she's gonna be getting the answer that she needs to be able to go where she wants to go. That's why Spirit is not rushing anything and saying that she has to have it all figured out, because it's telling me that she, like I said earlier, guys, that, you know, they're going to give her the tools and the information that she needs to go where she needs to go. Yeah, pain. And we also have idea, and yeah, there's something about her creativity that's taking a stunt too as well. I feel like as well she's comparing and contrasting maybe with other content creators as well, and looking at their content and what she should be doing, and I don't know, there's something like that. But also too, like I said, she's holding on to people and things that are really not serving her career right now, and that's why Spirit is, like I said, she's not trusting herself completely. But as these things get removed, as Spirit shows her the truth of what it is, this is going to get her to trust herself a lot more. Yeah, happiness. We also have strength in reverse, right? So that's that doubt. Those are those insecurities that are popping up. Like, am I making the right decision? Am I making the right moves? Is so-and-so who they say they are? Like, once she gets out of this confusion, she's gonna get back hungry. Her energy will start to move and get more balanced. She's gonna be happy though. Like I said, I don't think her money's gonna be changing. It's just getting her back into the direction she wants to go. Look at that. Funny how I'm talking about her money. Abundance. And we also have fear. All right, so she has to get out of her fears. There are things that are clouding her judgment that, you know, she's going to be getting clarity over as well. But I do see that when it comes to her career stance, that she's going to be standing in the same position, and that's okay. She wants greater, she wants better, and that's better, and that's great, because if you see and you want better, that's how you know that you're meant for more, right? Or you're meant for bigger stages in your energy. And it's telling me that Spirit is saying she will get there. It's just finding the steps on how to get to where she wants to go. And trust me, Spirit keeps on acknowledging that she will. All right, so let's get an advice card out of this deck. But the biggest thing I see that like could go bad for her is just, you know, realizing the situations of people and things for what they are. Because, you know, like I said, there is an energy of her doubting her intuition here, and her intuition is going to become correct about a lot of things that she's been second guessing. Like, remember, I feel like the lesson here from Wendy Ortiz is that to trust herself even if there's no proof. Okay, so communication is key. Okay, So let's see, the Gemini, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going in her energy that's balanced, a lot of two-faced people, two-faced things I'm hearing that needs to be cleared out. And I feel like as well, the communication is key, is her speaking up, like speaking her truth, because I feel like she could have been holding things back. Damn, the bitch is screaming her head off. Like, she has a lot of distractions around her. That's what I'm getting. Because I'm just listening to this bitch scream on iCarly, and I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Alright, so it says communication is key. So it says a successful relationship usually comes down to one thing, communication, and the new moon in Gemini is a card that is all about that. A new cycle is for communication with the person, or the center of your question is on mind. Talking things through is the answer to whatever it is. If you can't talk to this person, you can journal about it. It says email, text, and other forms of communication will also help you now. The issue you're asking about concerns siblings or neighbors. Like I said, this is real life. Remember, we already know what could be blocking her right now, and it's the things and energies around her, the secret snakes in the grass that act like supporters but are really slowing her down. She's going to be weeding that energy out real soon. Okay, so it says there's a new start coming, time to wipe the slate clean and start over. Double confirmation. The card suggests that you've been too frivolous lately and you need to get grounded again. So that frivolous energy is her not trusting herself, and things are going to start to reveal itself where it's like, oh, I was right the whole time, because like spirit is trying to reveal to her. It says, but most importantly, drawing this card emphasizes that you need to communicate. So she needs to speak her truth. And also, too, it could highlight that she might not have the most people being honest around her, or things not being the most honest, or she's perceiving things of being deceptive, and they could be really opportunities, but she's not grounded enough to make a very practical decision. Could be something like that as well. So it says, write a list of people you love most and see if you're prioritizing them. So this is what I mean about she needs to take a look at her inner circle and see where she's giving her energy, because this is where the problem's coming from. There's also, that's where the solution lies as well. So it says, time to tell someone how you feel. It says, don't be afraid to be in your heart. It says, don't be all in your head. Don't be all in your head, not just your heart. It says someone is flirting with you, and it says read more books. Okay, and that's another thing too. There's something here that's trying to be pushed onto her when it comes to her. Like, I feel this could be Noel's energy, where it's like someone's trying to convince her to keep going and like, we should do this and pursue it. I don't know if it's her management. I don't know if it's Noel's energy, because he doesn't seem too available for a relationship, but he might enjoy the opportunity here. There's something on a romantic level where there's like a lot of flirtation that's coming off as genuine, but it's very deceptive, or something that's being masked as friendly, but it's very deceptive. Could be new, could be past. This is where she's lingering and questioning where to step, because she doesn't know what's real, what's genuine, and what's not, but she just needs to ground her energy. That's what I'm getting here from Wendy Ortiz. Alright, y'all, but this is what I'm getting for her. Like I said, I do feel like Wendy Ortiz is a really strong person. She's really well protected. And Spirit is already giving her the signs that she needs. This is almost like her needing to trust what's being shown to her. I do see that she's going to be just fine, though. Wendy Ortiz is not going to be less abundant or losing anything anytime soon. It feels like this is just more coming into alignment of what's not for her, or or giving to things that she thinks that are like helping her, and they're not really helping her. This is all about the energy she gives out that she's not giving back. Spirit is realizing the unfairness, and they're asking her to cut it out, regardless if this is friends, collaborators, family, neighbors, lovers. Spirit's asking her not to keep on giving her hand out and then with people who've been biting the hand that fed them, helped them, supported them. Wheel of Fortune, this is karma, okay, trying to balance itself out. She's going to go through a lot of changes, and when she makes these changes, it's going to bring a lot of happiness and success into her energy. So she's going through a transition. She's going to be balancing energy out. Okay, guys, but this is going to be the end of this updated reading for Wendy Ortiz. I really do hope you guys enjoyed it. don't forget to like, comment down any feedback or celebrities you would like me to channel, and also don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in a future reading.